All right, so uh, I'm just sitting here with my wife. She's doing Bible study, devotion time, and last night we had a fire um, at the neighbor's house down the way, and total loss, complete, completely just burned. Maybe not burned it down to the ground, and while there's ashes and I know many people can say and make songs out of how God turns things from ashes. Beauty can come from ashes and stuff like that. Um, I was sharing with my wife how in the midst of seeing something else going on for somebody else, God spoke to me and revealed something to me this morning about um, how much we overlook some of the simplicity of things and how it becomes uh, how God does his surgical work to reveal stuff. And it's not an innovation like humans can understand. When the invisible works, right? The invisible works between the spaces of what the hands can't touch, what the eyes can't see, what the heart can't comprehend, and even sometimes what the mind doesn't have the fortitude to guard against. And in last night's situation, the fire was fire. Natural response for me as a person may be to want to go and help and be there. Um, a charge for us as Unifinity is to first, be out there, standing in the gap to try to, help the homeless or help the less fortunate, and do what we can. It doesn't mean you got to go above and beyond and do what puts you more at a disadvantage or hurt, but try to help somebody have an advantage to move forward. That's something that's always going to be, I think, within myself. I'm grateful for the ministries and the lives that I've been uh, built off of and interfaced with along the time frame of my journey from childhood to now. And in the course of getting up this morning, and having to drive down the street and you see the house and it's burnt off. It's just there's structure, there's things there, but like there's an end to something, but it's not really an end. It's just a cycle because there's a beginning to something as well happening at the same time. And like I said to the victims at the of that experience, I said one of the blessings of this situation, uh, you're alive. You and your son, y'all alive. You, your son, your friend, you guys are alive. You know, and when I talked to even more people that were connected to the situation, I said, "You're alive." I mean, we're all going to die someday, and we understand that. Excuse me, it's the way of life. But in this experience, God helped the community experience grace. That's one fire that didn't take 3 to 4 lives. That's one fire that didn't spread to another house that could have blown up because there's 23 canisters of oxygen tanks that would have blown not just one house, but maybe 2 houses apart. There was a full propane tank on the porch where all the fire was. that still didn't catch on fire. And all this information is flowing in my mind and coming to me all at one point, last night. And it wasn't just that, it literally, there was a harvest of a lot of things going on. And when I say there was a harvest of a lot of things going on, I'm talking about you get to meet people that you would have never met, because there's just no connection. You can live in the same city and have absolutely no connection to the person living right next door to you. But I was out there, and I winded up, learning about people, and they got some misgivings about, some people that are there. They got some, other people that want to connect, look beyond whatever they may see, whether they see an upstanding person or they see a bum. They just want to be there to give. You got people that don't even live in the area. They come to sow a time and sow a seed, try to sow some help because they work with somebody at the same location. And out of all that experience, out of seeing all that, I realized how much this is like me. It's like my life. It's like everybody else's life. It's like your life. Whoever's watching this is how you can understand and interpret all this stuff and put all this in from one analogy to the next and piece it all together. God doesn't owe us anything. God doesn't have to change your circumstance from one house to the next. God don't have to save you. You can, you could believe in Jesus. You could believe in whatever else you want. Don't forget, you still got to die at some point. And if whatever you invested in, your heart has never been right, it don't matter what you do. It don't matter, because when you strip everything away, when you strip your confidence in what you pay for, to give you that moment of, I got my car, I got my house, I got my wife, I got my kids, I got my job, or I got my ministry, I got my objectives, I got my objections, I got my wounds, I got my strengths, I got my weaknesses, I got my vices, I got my delights. When you strip all that away, all of it, and you see yourself at the same place that God sees you, which is beyond naked. When God sees you beyond the self that has nothing without me, God. When you see yourself as just the creation needing grace just to exist, you start seeing things a little differently. You start understanding God at a different place of like, this is more than my church. This is more than my race, my hue right here. You know what I'm saying? This is more than your hue over there. You know what I'm saying? This is more than your politics, more than your hate, more than your passion, more than your territories. Think about it like this. Some people don't think about this. I know that I'm going to touch on something right here, but some people don't think about it like this. We're all doing what we're doing here. Some of us believe in God. Some of us believe in eternal life. Some of us don't. Okay. That's cool. Take your choice. Take your choice and your pick for what it is right now. But that fire taught me something. When you burn everything away, even the ashes blow away. And they go wherever they go. Where are you going to immigrate to next? Where's your faith going to go next? Where's your spirit going to go next? Because your spirit ain't got no other destination but where God placed it. And if God don't give you grace to actually see you as worthy enough to be within God's presence. God doesn't see the grace of that he's connected and had a covenant with your heart. Where are you going to go? Other than drift away into never being again. That's something that I can always say when I think about different faiths and different religions, and they, some believe in reincarnation, some of them believe in transcendence. They believe in all these little different things, and we as people, we get caught up on like the words or the meanings or the values or the ideology of what that's supposed to be. What is it supposed to be to God? Not what is it supposed to be to me. Not what it's supposed to be to my neighbor. I'd rather God see me walk down the street, sow some time, sow some food for somebody. Not sow the time. God see the heart. Be like, oh, I see what you're doing. You down there to be nosy. You're not down there to help. Nope. God, I'm here to show that I'm a vessel of you. That's the difference. Because when God burns everything away, when God sees everything, when God sees it at its rawness, nothing to hide. I know I got something coming to my mind right now, and I was just thinking about it. I just laugh. We got so many different things out here that distract us. Your brain is your best distraction. Your stories in your mind are your best distraction. We got zombies, we got vampires, we got werewolves. You know what I'm saying? We got angels. We got the Velveteen Rabbit. We got so many different things that we put in front of relationship with God. Like, why are you guarding your heart with so much crap? Why are you guarding God's access, to you, because you're so afraid of a covenant? It's not covenant doesn't mean condemnation. Covenant doesn't mean commitment in frustration. Covenant doesn't mean anything but an opportunity for a better relationship later. That's it. A better relationship later is a better relationship now. That's really what covenant is. And no matter what you tell me, you can throw whatever scripture at me. If you think about the term covenant and what it's supposed to mean, you don't even need the entire Bible to understand it. That's why God said, even in the Word, faith like a mustard seed. At the time of those people, the people that saw that thing, faith as a mustard seed is a very small portion. In a modern society where we go and we got science, we got all this other stuff, faith smaller than an atom can make dynamic changes if the heart is in the right place with God. So I promised my wife I would always give her time to have that morning 4:00 devotion that she's committed to. And I was supposed to wait till 8:00 to be able to access and be involved with her. But God always shows us that no matter what we set up for ourselves, if God is still in control, God can change everything. God takes priority. And I'm grateful for our challenges, our wounds that we've gone through, because when times like these do pop up, where I actually physically see a wound in front of me, a hardship, when the business sees, a hardship in front of it, it just makes me realize my heart's in the right space now. My heart's been in the right space for a long time. And my heart's going to have to stay in the right space going forward, because this journey between life and death and whatever comes after that, and then whatever comes before that, if you do not have an eternal mental structure, mindset, if your system is not the physical, but the intangible, if your ultimate person has the wrong posture, has the wrong materials, how do you expect God to give you grace to do more and you can't do with the little that you are?